Hey, hey, hey. What is up, everybody? Shout out if you can hear me, if you can see me. I think that everything should be going fine. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Awesome, 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 awesome. So you guys, let me just double check that you can hear me, you can see me fine. Is that all good? Send me thumbs up if that's good. We hear ya. Everything's clear, everything's awesome. Hey, Tommy, told you I would be here. How's your day? Awesome. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Good. So sounds good. Vision's good. We're all good, right? Peace, 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 peace. Listen, I just want to say, happy you're all here and welcome to my Q&A/AMA. I am so excited to have you guys here. And I'm glad you guys can all hear me. You can see me. That's good. Firstly, I want to take this time to say a massive thank you for joining me on this beautiful Sunday here in Los Angeles. It's sunny, it's gorgeous. Lucky for us, it finally stopped raining here in LA for a bit. Because we've had some pretty terrible torrential rains going on with mudslides and everything. But so thank you, especially when I know that you could all be spending your time doing better things than listening to me drone on for the next hour or so. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have your snacks, you got your drinks handy. I've got mine. I've got my water. Ooh. And I've got my coffee. That's lovely. And also I got these tasty little snacks. These are from Australia. So good. Apologize for eating, but I did say bring cocktails and snacks. They're from Australia. My brother-in-law was over recently and brought these for me that I requested because I love them so much. They're called Shapes, and they're actually shaped like Australia. The flavors, Vegemite flavor, if any of you are familiar with that. So thank you, Oliver Vitalik. Also, a shout out to all my family out there in Oz. Also to my ride or die, my husband Jai, who's actually in London at the moment, about to start rehearsals for his play. So if you're in London, go check it out. It's going to be at the Bridewell Theater. It's called Syncopation. I'll be there to see it when it opens. Previews from March 14th. Officially opens the 17th of March, and it is a wonderful story. So best of luck, Jai. Also, so I'm going to swallow this. I have some fun little giveaways today. Sadly, I don't have any PS5s or Xboxes or cars or houses or anything like that. So I apologize, but maybe next time, who knows? Maybe I'll get some sponsorships and I can get you some better prizes. But I do have some small Death Stranding merch that I managed to get my grimy little mitts on today that I'm going to give away. I've got some CDs, the soundtrack to the game, also the some of the songs that recorded by Churches, Low Roar. Any of you know the game, you know that music. I have a PS5 director's cut to give away. I also have a PC digital download of the game. I've got some signed photographs that I will be giving away, some of these bad boys, if any of you are interested in that. I've got some Luden's Duckies. I have a white one and a yellow one to give away. I also have a Bridges pen, one of those. That's what Die Hardman wears on his uniform, and some black and white Kojima tape, if you're interested. I also have a t-shirt, a Death Stranding t-shirt. It is a size large, so if it's too big for you, wear it as a nightshirt or just lounge around in. I'm sure it'll all be good. So anyone who submitted questions to me directly, those names have been put into a draw in my trusty little bag. There's quite a few names in there, I gotta say. And I'll take some time out throughout this session and pull some of those names. So good luck to y'all. And also, for those that didn't submit, I will still try to answer some of your questions here live on the chat as well. Also, I thought it would be a kind of cool idea to come up with a little fun game to give some of you guys who didn't submit a chance to take away some signed photos of Die Hartman that I have here in a little game that I call Quick Five. Now, the thing about the Quick Five is that you will need to have your smartphone handy, and you will need to be on Twitter X. So that might rule a few people out. So I'm sorry about that, but this was a little thing I came up with. And I thought, well, let me just try and come up with something to include those people who didn't manage to get questions in or whatever. Maybe there's an opportunity for you guys to get something sent to you as well. But we'll come back to that later. So just make sure you have your smartphones handy and you have the Twitter app open to my page and look out for what's to come. So, but we'll come back to that and stuff later. Also, before we get started, I would like to say this. This is a chat today about everything you want to know. Hopefully I will have the answers to your questions, whether that's about my VO career with games, etc., any TV, theater, or stage stuff, even my short but interesting music career as a pop artist or whatever. Today is the chance for you to ask anything that you want. And I will ask this of you, please. That we respect everyone here in the chat and be mindful, and that we keep any offensive or abusive negative comments out of the chat, as I really would like for this to be a safe space for everyone. So if you can do that, that would be wonderful. I thank you. So let me ask, where's everyone from here? I know the time zones and stuff are pretty crazy, but do we have anyone from outside of the US here? The chats are going. Let's see. Mexico, nice. Italy, awesome. Brazil. Oh, that is amazing, you guys. Thank you so much for whether, I don't know what the time zones are where you're at, but thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, and it truly means a lot. You know, I don't get a chance to do Q&As on my own very often at all, but I really do. I enjoy them so much when I do get a chance to do it, because it's really just a chance to connect with you all sort of in real time, hear your thoughts, your opinions, and answer any of those burning questions that you guys might have. And on my YouTube channel, I haven't been able to post a great deal lately on it, but I'll get back. Time, things happen, life moves on, but I'll get back to it as soon as time permits. But I enjoyed it. Did any of you catch my series Joy to the Word that I started back during the pandemic? Oh God, there's a word. Remember the pandemic. Ouch. Did any of you see that? Yeah, it was a wonderful thing for me to kind of keep my mind in a good place during all of that. So I really enjoyed it, and I will get back to it. And come back with a new series. So I'm hoping to get back to that pretty soon. But if you have any ideas or suggestions for me for that, shoot me a message or reach out on my socials, because I'm always looking for some new stuff. I've got some ideas floating in my head, but I'd like to know some of your thoughts too. Maybe suggest a theme for the next series, because I haven't really come up with that. Got a few ideas, but nothing concrete. Which leads me seamlessly segueing into the next bit of this. I always like to start a session or a stream with a poem or a reading, just to kind of get things going. So let me begin with this. This is a poem called Thinking, and it is, I'm going to get my second set of eyes on. Making me look a little bit more astute and intelligent. It's called Thinking by a gentleman called Walter D. Wintle. You may have heard it. And it goes like this. If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, well, it's almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find that success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. That was Thinking by Walter D. Winto. I think it's quite poignant in times where we think about positivity and negativity and all that. And that's what I call the power of thinking. How do you all cope with your thoughts? Do you find your thoughts to be more positive or negative on a whole? Because I have found in my hundreds of years on this planet that the power of thinking positively is so much better and healthier than negative thinking. Look, don't get me wrong. That's not to say that I don't have negative thoughts, but I do. But I've tried to practice turning those thoughts into positive ones when they enter my head. It doesn't always happen because I have to remind myself each time to basically translate the negative to a positive. But sometimes we can go down a rabbit hole of negativity, which is very, very easy to do. How do you guys cope with it? DeToro Ronaldo. Yes, I tried to take all negativity and being a stoic individual. Talking helps me the most. That's good. Fletcher, I find photography and films really help. Dead Doll 13, negative for me. I suffer from bad anxiety. Listen, I get it. We are in a time where mental health is so focused on at the moment, and I think it's a good thing. For so many years, it was sort of brushed under the carpet, and I think it's an incredible thing that we focus on now, and really to just look after you, because there's only one of you. You only have yourself to think about when it comes to those things, and you've got to take it quite seriously. But it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole of all of that. Alfredo Allers, talk to the wife. Work. I have my children draw me pictures of their day, and we talk about the joy. That's nice. That's lovely. I try to enjoy my passions to their fullest in order to keep my anxiety at bay. Listen, you've got to do whatever it is that you need to do. I also find that for me, meditation is very good for that. I talk a lot about living in the present moment, and thankfully I'm able to share a lot of that with my husband Jai, because we're on the same page, so we both get it. But I picked up a lot of information from authors along the way, and I've mentioned this before. Eckhart Tolle, who I always suggest reading his book A New Earth, or The Power of Now, which I have sitting up here on my shelf. Wayne Dyer's The Power of Intention is good. Deepak Chopra, who does great guided meditations, also wrote a book called he's written several books, but there's one that I keep by my bedside table called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And it's a relatively short book, but very, very, very detailed. And you can probably read it in like a half an hour, 45 minutes or something. But it's an eye opener and talks about living in uncertainty, which is also very interesting, something to be aware of. Old school Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. That was a really good one back in the day. And very relevant as well now. But so many more. So I'm also open to any suggestions. If you guys have any good books that you know of on these topics, do let me know. But going back to the negative thought things before we even proceed further, I did find this interesting thing online that I'd also like to share with you. And it said, the human brain has a natural tendency to give weight to negative experiences or interactions more than positive ones, which I'm sure we've all experienced. Psychologists refer to this as negativity bias. And it causes people to focus on one bad thing in a whole mountain of good things. Um, Negative emotions generally involve more thinking, and the information is processed more thoroughly than positive ones. We often have more descriptive adjectives to explain negative thoughts than we do good ones. Bad emotions, bad memories, bad feedback, bad impressions all have more impact. Um, Even our work lives, it says that are filled with how easy it is to fixate on the negative, and it's true. And I've been one to experience that. Attitude is everything by Keith. That's a good one. I'll look that up. Thank you. Some of the bullet points, for instance, like at work, if your boss, who pretty much praises you frequently, gives you your work great praise. Expresses at one point something that you need to work on. It's the one thing that you can't stop thinking about. You forget about all the good that has been said, and you just fixate on the negative. Here's another good one. When you're shopping online, and I've done this, where I think, oh, this is really cool. I like this gadget, or I like this outfit. I'm going to buy it. What are the reviews about this company? And you read all these great reviews, and then all of a sudden you get one or two bad ones, like your angry people who are like, I hated it. It was not very good product. It was this, and this. And you're like, okay, that's enough for me. I'm out. I'm not going to get it. But there could have been 100 good ones, and then there's two or three bad ones. And you're like, I just want everything to be good. It's crazy how we let that affect us. But there are a myriad of other examples, but we're all prone to negativity. Everyone is. It's just part of, I think, human nature. But how is it that some people seem to see the bright side more easily than others? What are they doing differently, and how can we learn to think this way? Which I think is very easy. Not very easy. It's an interesting thing, because negativity always seems to somehow outweigh the good. Like I said, you are instantly drawn to a negative thought. It happens all the time on Amazon. Yeah. So I personally think that it is a practice to just remind yourself, when you think about something negative, try and dilute that with a positive thought. Instantly, that, and retrain the brain to start thinking, to go more in the positive direction. And that's not to say you won't not think negatively, but it can help sort of disperse it in some ways. And having negative thoughts at the end of the day, it's not a problem. It's a natural thing. The problem, or the difficulty, is when we believe those what those negative thoughts, what we believe in them, and that we believe that they are true. For instance, getting constructive criticism or getting review that might say something bad or perceive it to be bad, we become so fixated on the bad part of it and forget all the good things that were said. So the lesson is, take the good with the bad, but don't let the bad be your downfall. And that is a quote from me to you for free. All right. So take the good with the bad, but don't let the bad be your downfall. Okay. Make it one of your superpowers. Learn from it. That's why we're here. That is life. All right. Keep on keeping on is now my mantra. I agree 100%. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take it. Yes, please take it. It's free. I'm giving it away to you today. Take it. No charge. Right. Let's get on to some of these questions, as they are quite a few to get through, but I'm going to try and speed through them, but to give them some good value. I don't want to just brush over stuff. So I'm going to take a few of these now and get started with this, and then I'll take a few from you guys as well. So here we go. Let me get a sip of this energy. This is the first question. What's your three inspirational actors? Uh, that's a bit difficult one because it's for me it's forever changing. I have a great respect for legends like Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Clint Eastwood, Heath Ledger, Tom Cruise, Idris Elba. I mean, the list goes on of these amazing actors, and that's just some of them. But women are also on another level. You know, we've got our queen, Meryl Streep. Who is just phenomenal in everything she does. Jackie Chan, yeah, Heath Ledger, he was such a gentle soul. Yeah, I agree. Um, do you? So that is those are my choices at this moment in time. Do you voice record with the mask on? I do not record with the mask on. I do not. All those came from Nettie088 on Twitter. Thank you, Nettie, for that. The next one. If there was a remake of a game or a film and you could be cast as your dream character or role, who would it be? Um, hmm. I I think I do something that's a little maybe far from me in the fantasy sci-fi genre, or there are a lot of Marvel characters that have yet to be touched on, some villains. But maybe I might have to go with a remake of an old 70s film called They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. If you guys are aware of it, it might be too old school for you. It starred Sidney Poitier, and he is a detective called Virgil Tibbs. So if anybody wants to tackle that with me, call me. I'm putting it out there. Let's do a remake of. I can't stand up to Sidney Poitier. The man is a legend, but I would certainly give it my best shot to be a reincarnated Virgil Tibbs. Yeah, and that is from Dead Doll 13 on Twitter. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Um, what was it like working for Hideo Kojima and acting the role of Die Hardman? It was everything I could have hoped for. It was an amazing experience. That is from Final PH _ on Instagram from Louis. Thank you for that. You could do, Mr. Tibbs. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you get that role. I hope I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there through you guys, and I'm putting it out there into the ether because I think that would be a really cool project. And that, so like I said, that was from Final PH on Instagram. Will you be in the next Death Stranding 2? Now, here, before I get to that, I had already this question. I meant to sort of hit on this topic prior to that because I know a lot of people were asking about that. And the truth is, I have no idea. My thing is this: what will be will be. I think the future of the game is gone in another direction. So the answer is I don't know. At this moment, I know nothing. I've been told nothing. Um, when I know, you'll know if I know. But for right now, there's nothing about it. And although I appreciate the love, believe me, I appreciate the love and the wanting for this character to resurface again. But it will be what it will be. So let's see. Next question. I'm not a voice actor, but I do a lot of voice acting. And sometimes throughout the day, my voice changes a lot. Some mornings I get this beautiful, deep voice. Some evenings I sound normal. And other times I sound like Mickey Mouse if he was a meth addict. So how do I keep my voice consistent in a single range for longer? I would say, firstly, get to know how your voice works. Experiment with it at different times of the day because it will change, and just notice those changes. Mornings are almost always going to produce a lower tone, simply due to the fact that you're just like your body, it needs to wake up. You have to also decide and figure out what I call my home base voice, which is where I sit most of the time. And deciding on that, it's figuring out where your natural placement is, and then you can learn to manipulate your voice how you want to manipulate it when you need it. For instance, if I need to have a low, raspy, gruff sound, the morning is best for me. Sometimes I won't even warm up. I'll just go and do a take of something and just use that voice. But I've also done it enough times to know where I can find that voice if I need it, even if it's later in the day. Um, so know how to produce those sounds on cue. But just also know that it's normal for your voice to change throughout the day, but always take care of yourself. Rest in between. Don't push it. The voice is delicate and it's your instrument. And if it is your moneymaker, don't wreck it. Um, were there any unique challenges in acting for a video game compared to other types of acting? There's always challenges. Every project is different, depending if you're doing booth work or a motion capture on the soundstage. I think it depends on the project and what's required of you. I always think pretty much that working in video games can be a lot more challenging in ways you'd never expect, especially because a lot of the times you're in the booth by yourself and you don't ever get a chance to see some of your acting co-stars. So you just have to kind of go off of instinct. Which is a lot of times why we do 3 takes of a line on the chances that one of those lines will fit with the other person's lines that they're going to put together. Fingers crossed. That was from and I forgot to mention that the voice one just prior to that was from Evil Planets on Twitter. Sorry about that, buddy. Evil Planet Studios at Evil Planet on Twitter. And this last one I just read about doing voice work in the booth is from, if I get this pronounced right, La Muge Mapachilla. And they're at Nala_Wolf on Twitter. Thank you for that question. What made you pursue the career you're in? Stupidity. Absolute stupidity. No, I'm kidding. I have always had something inside me. I think that enjoyed performing in some way. So I think it was, I don't know, I think it was just in the stars. But I found my specific path, I suppose, later in life, because you do discover these things along the way. And it's something you just kind of eventually figure out. What was and then also there's a part B to this. What was one piece of advice you can give to your younger self? I would say to trust yourself, believe in yourself, defy the odds, and love yourself unconditionally. All right. That was from Alfredo at Sauceman Fredo on Twitter. Thank you for that. Yes. I got a couple more here. I'll do. Do you see yourself in the characters you've played, such as Die Hardman? In some of them, yes, but not all of them. Does part of you connect with who they are or meant to be? I feel I have to connect in some way with them in order to make them believable. I mean, it's always good to have an essence of myself in there somewhere, no matter how small. And that doesn't mean that you have to see it. I just personally have to feel it as the actor for that. If so, did it help you fulfill the role as them? Yes. Yeah, I think so. Whatever it takes to help you get to a place that you need to get to. I would agree with that. So that was from Simulated Snake on Twitter. Thank you for that, Simulated Snake. What was the best advice for anyone, or what is the best advice for anyone who wanted to start their voice career this year? That's very specific. The best advice I would say is to learn about the craft and the industry first, and learn about it as much as you can, because it's different for everybody. Absolutely different for everyone. Take some classes with some good teachers, some good coaches who can, hopefully guide you in the right direction, and fully understand how it all works. But by all means, go for it. Absolutely go for it. You have my blessing. And I wish you all the best if that's what you're doing. Good luck. That is from Allison at Aminan _ Naira Gub on Twitter. Some of these handles, you guys are going to have to forgive me because they are out there and I'm just trying to get to grips with them, but let me know. Let's take this last one here before I come to you guys. I came across a behind the scenes clip of Death Stranding and noticed that you were actually crying during that motion capture performance. I want to know and learn the technique of bringing out those emotions beforehand. Okay. So once again, different things work for different actors. All right. There are things that you can use, and I know people do use things like aids, like tear sticks or menthol sticks to help the aid the process of bringing tears and stuff to the surface for crying. I've never used anything like that. And that's not to say that I wouldn't in the future or have the need to. I just haven't yet at this stage. But I also haven't had to do multiple takes of a very intense scene for hours on end. Like, so I understand on some projects, there's a need that people will need that because you have to shoot a scene over and over for whatever reason, and it's hard to maintain that level of emotion. You know, when you've got to do 10, 20, or maybe even in some cases 50 takes of a scene, how are you going to sit there at that all the time? You know, but you can have and feel the same emotions without tears, truly, because your voice is what moves us. What you're saying, how you deliver the lines is what's also going to move us, and what you convey through your eyes, and how you deliver the scene. Tears are just a little something little something extra that happened to fall, basically. So I wouldn't say that it is all about trying to achieve tears. If they happen, they happen. If they don't, they don't. And if you need, if the director or someone really wants to have that, find a way to help aid you in that, but don't sacrifice the performance and the delivery of your scene, thinking about, oh my God, I'm coming up to it. I've got to, I've got to squirt some tears out. No, no. And that was from Zishan Karimi on Twitter. Thank you, Zishan. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see what we've got here. You are super positive energy, Jay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Did you enjoy your role in Death in Paradise? I did. I did, man. Yeah. I had to pull out some Caribbean on that. Yeah, it was great. The director, Leon Lopez, was wonderful, who I also know as a friend. It was brilliant. And the cast was brilliant. I got to work with some people that Jackie Boson, who was my Babette in that. She's wonderful and a very good friend who I've known for years in theater. And it was wonderful, a wonderful surprise to be able to work with her and stuff again. Be proud of your tracks. They're proof you existed. I know where that line has come from. What a performance it was. Thank you. Please come back to London, Comic-Con. You tell them to call me. I'm here. Thank you, Manny Mentor. Music can help a lot. What genres do you listen to? I have a very eclectic selection of music. I love R&B, pop, even a little bit of country. Speaking of, have you heard Beyonce's country hit? I'm here for it. But I do. I have a very wide selection of music taste. We miss you in London. I miss you, Kathy. Thank you. The episode is on iPlayer currently. I presume that you're talking about Death in Paradise for that. That's good. If anyone's on iPlayer, catch it out. It was really fun to do. Do you play any video games, Tommie? I do play when I can find the time to do it. I do more voicing and acting and work for video games than I actually do playing. Not because I don't like to, it's because my hours are filled with so much other stuff. Sometimes stuff that doesn't even have to do with the industry. Excuse me, but just stuff that I need to take care of. So I don't get a lot of time, but I would love to be able to. There's some things that I would really love to be able to play, and hopefully I will. Don't forget being in Goodnight Sweetheart. How was that experience? That was fun. Oh, that's going back. That's going way back. That was probably one of my earliest TV shows, working with Nicholas Lyndhurst in that, and I loved it. Playing an American GI. So that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Now, thank you guys for that first set of questions. I know a lot of people felt really strongly, about Death Stranding, when it came out, and In some cases, it was very controversial. It was polarized opinions in some of the reviews. But you know what? Like everything else, I've learned that you can't take all of that on board. I've learned that you can't please everybody because it's virtually impossible. Now, you're not always going to be everyone's cup of tea or coffee. And I know that hurts, but it's true. You're never going to please everybody, and not everyone is going to like you. All you have to do is be you, and you have to be okay with stuff like that. Otherwise, you end up living your own life to satisfy the needs and the wants of other people who don't, in some cases, don't even really care or are bothered. Trust me, because I've had those experiences. So remember that you have just got to keep on keeping on for you. Um, and like I said, I've gone back to going back to the question earlier, what that said about the Death Stranding, um, and knowing about DS2. I know that because of the messages that have been flooding in. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But like I said, when I know, you'll know. And chances are, half the time, you guys know more than I do before I do. Everything gets leaked. How many times have you guys read stuff online? You've gone, oh, and this got leaked and that got leaked. Um, you know, it's all a rumor mill, those things. So don't pay any attention to any of that stuff. But speaking of which, have you seen the new DS2 trailer? How cool was that? What did you guys think of that? Because I'm already hyped. I'm like, there's a lot more action that seems to be going on, a lot of new characters. So I'm like, here, take my money. It's insane. Yes. Yes. Uh, Looks amazing. I agree. I agree. I agree. It was so dope. Uh, Higgs is epic. Higgs has always been epic. Looks stunning. Looks so cool. Amazing. Blown away. Yeah, so was I. I mean, literally, it was like watching a short film. Uh, but it does make you, he has a way of just drawing you in. The man can do it. There's no doubt about it. Did any of you catch the recently released documentary on Kojima, Connecting Worlds, which is on Disney Plus? Yes. Did you already watch? Yes, I did. Yes, 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 yes. You did. You saw it. I'll be watching it tonight. Yeah, looks like a drug dream. Watched it last night. Uncle Tommy. Yes. Hey, Laroxia. Yes, I was in. That's my niece. Um, Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Not because of my connection with him in any way, but because I found out more information regarding how it all began for him. Even from a small child, it's like, we all have dreams of doing things. We all, no one's in our head. We are in our heads. Only we know how it works up there. We can decipher it. We can break the code up there. But it's up to us to follow those dreams and make them happen if those are things that you want to do. But I thought it was interesting how his imagination was, like a lot of us, an escape from reality and from things that you felt threatened or frightened by as a kid. How he always turned on the lights when he'd go in and into a room to help disperse any monsters or things that he'd had as a figment of his imagination. Is very, very interesting. Also, movies and books were his outlet. In one article, I saw that he had said, movies and books were like spaceships taking me to worlds that were completely different from the one I knew. Um, and I get that, and I think it's an escapism for everyone. It's, we need that in the world in which we live now. It's crazy because we want to we're surrounded by so much white noise, and we need to filter stuff out. So you got to be very careful, especially with things like social media and all that sort of stuff. Going back to what we said earlier, look after you. But I found the documentary absolutely interesting. So love him or hate him, you can't deny the man's a genius. And I love that they one of the guys said, he scares me. I think he's half a prophet. Like he predicts, Death Stranding predicted so much. And I will say, if you know, you know. So anyone who's played it knows the game, and you know exactly what we're talking about. Questions? What do you guys got? The complexity in the story is part of its allure. Yep, the music in Death Stranding just made the journey so deep. Hello, guys. Came back from editing, eating with my father. Oh, hello. Welcome back. I need to watch that. Yeah. Did I read Hideo was seriously ill and this changed his attitude and he created Death Stranding as a response? I have no idea. I have no idea. Vinicia, Kelman, hello. Everyone's saying hello, Uncle Tommie. Oh, hello, guys. Have you ever thought about becoming an acting voice actor teacher in the future? I think your positive attitude would be wonderful for that. You know what? I love moments like this where I can share. And although I feel at this stage in my life, it's something that I would love to do. I haven't done it. I have the tendency in my mind to go, I would love to do something like that. And, you know, and I do have sessions or have mentorships where I speak with people, and just generally, I like chatting. I like giving advice and stuff, and hoping there's something very rewarding about helping someone with something, and pulling something out of them that they didn't have. I tell you, who's really good about that with me is my husband Jai when he works with me. You know, you need to have someone who knows you, understands you, and when you have a mutual respect for each other's talent, he has a way of directing me in certain aspects that help me find things that I never thought, and vice versa. We do the same for each other when we're working together. So I think it's always great to have someone who can do things like that with you. But yeah, I would think about that and love to do it. And I have been asked numerous times to, you know, maybe do workshops and stuff. And I just need to say yes. I just need to say yes. Say yes. Working with a soulmate is so amazing. I agree. Hope you like my drawing of Die Hardman. I kind of feel it's a bit in the past for you, maybe, but it was a great joy to compliment you on your performance. I sent it early on. Yes, I did see it, and I think it's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's take some more questions here, shall we? So I feel like this Q&A, if people have to leave, I completely get it, but I feel like we might be on for a little bit, but I am going to try and speed some stuff up. I'm just having so much fun with you guys. You guys are awesome. The end of the game, in that scene where you cried, it was so emotional. How did you prepare for that? My preparation was simple. You know, I took myself to a corner. I think I've said this in a number of interviews as well. I just took myself to a corner because I knew what was going to happen that day. I had to quiet myself in my own little space, think about what it was that I had to do, because I was about to tell someone a truth that they had no idea about. That I also had a secret that I carried for most of my life, and that was going to be life-changing for this person. So the weight of that alone still makes me well up, just thinking about having to say that to someone. And then when you have someone who stands in front of you hanging on your every word and trying to get them to understand, it's a lot. That's a lot of weight. And it almost doesn't matter sometimes if you get the exact lines out. When you're in that moment, it's just, you don't think about that. You just think about the situation that you're in. Because what's most important is understanding what's happening in the now and then being able to navigate that. So I hope that made sense. Is anything that you're capable of doing, or you're just improvising? And sometimes improvising can play a great part if you've been given permission to do that. But some people stick to the script. The writers wrote it for a reason. That's what it should be. Maybe do one take where they let you play, and maybe do a take where you just stick to what's there. That is from Burke and Rainbows on Twitter, X. Thank you. Die Hardman is a character with very emotional lines and moments like many of your characters. What is your emotional and artistic method to transmit those moments to your characters? Know your story, know your character, know their background, know what your motivation is, how you need to get there. And that only needs to concern you. Only you need to know that. I don't have a formula. I just do it and try to feel it in the moment. It's not always easy, but it can be a lot of fun just finding it, whatever that is. Um, but yeah, arm yourself with all the information that you need. That's from AJ Roa RR on Twitter. Um, I loved your role as Die Harbin. What was the most difficult part of the voice acting and motion capture while making Death Stranding? Nothing really stands out as being too difficult. I suppose working with the headgear, the motion capture, you've got a camera here, and it's quite feels like you've got antlers on. Uh, that takes a lot of getting used to. Norman and I had a moment once where we are sort of cameras locked. And we were like a couple of stags on the cliff fighting. Uh, so you just have to be careful because sometimes it can be very restricting. And what was the best part or event or person that you worked with on Death Stranding? I loved it all. The team, the cast, everybody gets a thumbs up for me. That's from AJ Roki one on Twitter. Thank you for that. What was your reaction when you got to know the role, and how does that work with an NDA? Did you record everything and then were you notified that you were doing voice lines for a Hideo Kojima game, or is it straightforward? I was very excited to get the role. I did have an NDA. I did not record before getting the gig. I sent in a self-tape audition for it, but it wasn't the actual script, but the essence of the character was there. I just knew he was a commander. That's all it said. Didn't say anything else. And how was your first interaction with Kojima? It was great. Thank you, Ditto Ronaldo. Ditto Ronaldo on Twitter X. Once again, I'm apologizing if I don't pronounce things correctly. Do you prefer the musical roles or the ones with only acting? I love them all. You know, my career began in musical theater at a very young age. I was 14 when I did my first musical. So theater is always going to be in my blood. I will always have a love for it. Thank you, Jake Hobbs at 35 Miles of Lead on Twitter. If given the opportunity to show the players a little more of the story of Die Harbin, would you rather this be focused on his time with Cliff and their relationship in the army, or the story of what happened after the Clifford incident and how Die Harbin became the man he became, running up to the events of the game? Woo! I think I'd go with my time with Cliff during the military time so that people could see how he brought my sorry ass back home every time. And if you know, you know. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa _ West _ Picks on Twitter X. If there are anything, are there any things that you're looking forward to seeing and doing this year? Honestly, I'm just looking forward to making this year better than the last one, quite frankly, because it was a mess. We pretty much I've had 3 years of 3 messy years, you know, with 2 years dealing with the pandemic, then the strikes, just crazy. So I'm just looking forward to this year being better than the last one. And that's from Blue Enjoyer. From Untap Brainworms on Twitter X. Thank you for that. Can you explain what the story means to you? Which story? I am going to presume that we're talking about Death Stranding. Thank you for that. Great question, man. Your voice. Oh, thank you. Can you explain what the story means to you? I'm going to presume you mean Death Stranding. The story is what it is. It's a difficult one because there's so many components to it, but I love the message that it sends, you know, pretty much about connecting people, which is somehow we become disconnected. So I like the idea of that. And that's from Gary Dolling 108 on Twitter. Thank you very much for that. What is your favorite role that you played, and how do you prepare for a role? This is that's a hard one because they're all my favorite. I love Die Hardman, and he's definitely one of my favorites. But I also loved having the opportunity to play Jacob Kane in Gotham Knights. Most recently as Xandar Alcibiades, who's a companion in the Elder Scrolls Online game. Also Lear in Guild Wars 2, because he's got a bit of a split personality. He was fun. I prepare for every role differently, depending on pretty much what's required. for that role. In TV and film, you usually get a script and you can read it a few times so you understand the full arc of the story, where your character fits in, what you have to do, how to break, and you can break down the text and do all that stuff before you get on set. In games, honestly, you're lucky if you get the pages ahead of time. But very rarely do they give you a full script. Pretty much they'll give you just your lines. So you go in and record all of that. You don't necessarily, sometimes you'll get into the studio and they'll give you the breakdown or a rough thing of it, but you don't have a full understanding of it. So you really have to work hard and go in with and bringing something to the table. Like I said, different ways of saying lines, A, B, and C versions of it, on the off chance that it will marry with what they want. And also, I don't think people give you full scripts, because in this day and age, everything gets leaked. People spend all these years working on amazing projects, and someone decides to leak their stuff out into the world. So I do get it, but you do have to work a little harder. And that was from LaRoxia Parker, my niece on Instagram. Hey, girl. Thank you for that. If you could play a video game about anything, what would you play? Maybe a game that allowed you, I thought about this, maybe a game that allowed you to create an incredible superhero based on your specs, and to be able to create your own storyline within the game. And if someone, and then let you play it. So you can create your own character, your own superhero, give him whatever powers you want. Create your own story, beginning, middle, and end. That somehow gave you topics, and you could create a story, and you don't know what the ending's going to be, because somehow it configures your story and comes up with an ending that you know nothing about. I think that would be really, really cool. So if I don't think there's a game like that, but if there becomes a game like that, you heard that here first, right? So I expect a royalty. If someone comes up with that, you heard it here. You heard it here, and I'd play that. I would play that. And that's from Danny J. Bertling on Instagram. What did you guys think? Do you have any idea for screenplay of a movie? Yes, I do. And I have been working on some stuff based on the life I have that you probably don't know much about or anything, but I do have some stuff that I have worked on. And these things just take time. But I need to get back in front of the computer and start writing again. I really do. What would be your dream role in any format? I mentioned earlier a remake of They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. Bethesda games need you. Perhaps I need them too. Back in a bit, gonna go make that game. Thank you very much. Can you see yourself ever coming back to London's West End? I could, in the right thing, Kathy. Next time you're in the UK, be sure to come and get a real Cornish pasty, one of the best foods ever. Will I have to go down to Devon or Plymouth? Is that where they're from? I can't remember. Or maybe I'm in the wrong place. But I have had a real Cornish pasty. I lived in London for nearly 30 years, so I've definitely had some real ones. What would be your superhero weakness in that game? I'm not sure. The guy in the front of us thinks you look like Eddie Murphy. Ha ha ha! Do you know how many times I've heard that? I have heard that a lot. I had a guy at the gym. There was the two of us were on machines, and one guy came over and said to us, he said, you look like Isaac Hayes and you look like Eddie Murphy. And we both looked at each other and laughed. But the truth of it was we both could see it. We both could really, really see it. So we laughed about it. Maybe Lionel Richie. You look a lot like Die Hardman. Mask or no mask, it's the mustache. So okay, moving on. It's time for, I suppose, let's do the quick five. Quick five is not a break, but it's just a little game. I told you about it earlier, to have your phones ready. So this is where we're going to try and do this. Cross your fingers this all works. So in order to play this game that I made up, you need to open your iPhone or your smartphone to the Twitter app if you're on it, if you're on Twitter. Go to my profile, which is TJ84 at TJ, TEEJAYE 84. And now This is called Quick Five because the first 5 quickest people to respond to my tweet correctly, which I'm going to tweet, will receive a signed photo of me as Die Hardman. It's not much, but it's something. But I thought it would be kind of fun. So let me know if you guys are all set. Let me get my phone though here. Phone ready. Everyone's phone's ready. This may fall completely apart, but let's just give it a go. Let's give it a go. So my tweet is loaded, and I'm posting it now. The tweet has been sent. So I'll come back to that and see what are the first 5 who's come up in my list. And make sure you understand what it is you have to do. So the tweet says, just so if you're not clear, respond with the first emoji that corresponds with the following words. Only those in the current chat here are eligible. Once done, DM me your YouTube handle so that I know it's you. But your obviously will come up in my feed. So you've got baby, box, rainbow, thumbs up, skull, footprints, crab, whale, rain. You need to put all those emojis in a row in your response. I shall come back and check the responses later. In the meantime, we'll move on. So let me know. And the only reason I'm saying to DM me your YouTube handle in my DM is that I know that it was you and it's not just some person, random person, because I don't want that to happen. Right. So I'll come back to that later. Twitter froze. Did we break the internet? Dang, my Twitter got hacked. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to read those winners out as soon as I see them when they come back. Do we have any other aspiring actors and voice actors, performers watching out there today? Because it's very interesting. Oh God, that was stressful, someone said. Now everyone's on Twitter now trying to do what they need to do. And I hope that baby chick, listen, it should be the first emoji that comes up when you type those words in. It should be the first emoji that comes up. Dead Doll 13, I'd love to try voice acting. Talent Gaming, that was legit stressful. I love that you guys had a little moment of stress there. Game Largo, I tried voice acting and I found it super difficult to keep the character's voice the same between episodes and scenes. It was super fun though. That's interesting because then maybe you're hearing it differently. But also if you're putting on a voice, an animated voice that has to sit specifically in a place, I think you just have to remember to know how to find that place when you need it, but also, like I said earlier, to take those breaks and relax and release because it's a muscle and it can get tired. So if you're sitting way up here somewhere and you're trying to do that for hours on end, you need to reset, take a moment, have some water, lower everything back down, and then go back again. Yes, it was a baby chick for me. I like what you've just got one person who's like, hey, on that tweet. I know, right? Someone sent me just a thumbs up and I was like, no, read the tweet. My chat is not in English. It's not worked for me. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have specified. It has to be in English. Don't worry. It was all a bit of fun anyway. But like I said, I'll come back to that. Right, let's hit some more questions. So, how long did it take to record all of Die Hardman's voice lines? A long, long long time. I think he probably has the most lines or the second most lines in the entire game. Will you be reprising your role in the A24 live action movie? I would love to, but I'm not holding my breath. I also have no idea if that character appears in that new universe, in that live action. I think they're going to be exploring other avenues and probably meeting new characters who are part of that world. We'll just have to see. But it would be wonderful. But like I said, I have no expectation. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like I said, maybe the character doesn't even exist. And even if it did, maybe Hollywood, it's Hollywood. Maybe they want to go with a bigger name or profile. Who knows? That was from Kazuma Kiryu for the chairman on Instagram. Thank you for that. Where did you learn how to sing so beautifully? Honestly, thank you for thinking that. It's something that just happened. I never knew where singing came from. It was just something that I kind of did naturally. It found its way out of me because I think it was meant to. And I, somewhere in my DNA, there has to be something. A lot of people don't realize this or know, but I was adopted when I was 4 years old, and recently got reconnected with my sort of birth family. I grew up as an only child, and that's all I have been for all my years until around 2015, when the discovery was that I have two brothers, two half brothers, and a birth mother who was still alive, who I'm in contact with, who I love dearly and is wonderful, and my brothers as well. And then to discover my birth father, who in fact was a singer. He, was part of a doo-wop group in high school. And I discovered all this information not too long ago. And also sang with a very well-known R&B group. I'm not mentioning any names here, but you can only imagine. My brothers and I grew up together without even knowing. We went to the same schools together, and never knew each other. And we're each 1 year apart, which is very interesting. But that's another story. And there's probably a story there. So keep your eye out. Let's see. And that was from Heck in the Y on Twitter. And she said, "Can you sing your favorite song for us?" I'm loaded with coffee. I'm not good today. But thank you for wanting to hear. I'm trying to get through these questions. What's your favorite thing about working on games and your least favorite thing? I love creating characters, no matter how small they are or how big they are. I don't like not knowing all the information of a story or being able to read it fully. I touched on that a little bit early. But unfortunately, time's always of the essence. Things have to get done and get done quickly in a lot of cases. But like I said, it also protects creators from letting their stuff get out. They don't give full scripts out for various reasons, and that's the developer and the creators, that's their choice. We, as the actors, we're hired to do the gig, come in, do the gig, and get out. And that was from Sam Dangerfield on Facebook. The last few years, you've been a big name in some of the big and great games. Of all those, who's been your favorite character to play and why? Oh, well, thank you for thinking of me as a big name in some of the big, great games. I'm just a little person a little cog in the wheel. Die Hartman is always going to be on my list, obviously, but Jacob Kane, like I said earlier, was special because I never imagined myself taking on that role as such an iconic role. So I appreciate having the opportunity to give my take on that, and I enjoyed it. So have you guys played Gotham Knights? That must have been a big emotional moment. It was a big emotional moment. Oh, wow. Nothing like discovering your family history. Believe me. Telling him there's absolutely a story there. That's sad, but beautiful. Yeah, it is. I'm glad to hear you are feeling good with your loved ones. 100%. What up, big cloud gaming? What's up? Let's go. Yep. Played it. Talon Gaming, I'm sorry I filled your character in Starfield's office with toilet paper. Loved Gotham Knights. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Stupid phone. Having issues, people, having issues. I want to ask about your training and self-care routine. Do you have any plans to make a video on this subject? No, no. I have enough time trying to look after myself in self-care and routine that I couldn't possibly begin to tell someone how to take care of their self physically. So I won't be doing any physical fitness videos. Although way back in the day, when I was still living in New York and a dancer in New York, I have no idea where it is or even if it's out there, but I was a part of an aerobics video. I had my aerobic shoes, I had my leg warmers on, I had my little flat top crop hair going on, a little tank sort of a one piece, aerobic outfit, and we were just giving it. That got released on a video somewhere. I have no idea, but I'm sure it'll come back to haunt me one day. But who knows? That was crazy. We need to find it. Yes, you do. We must find this relic. Mr. Motivator. Let's see. The last few years you've been big games. Did we just do that one? Yeah, the last few years you've been in a big name in the big great guns. So that was from Wayne Meneer on Facebook. Thank you for that one. What is difficult working with all that technology for the motion capture? It's not too bad. You just have to be aware of like things like the headgear and stuff and getting attached to people and getting locked in. It is it's something you just have to be aware of with that. And when you go to hug someone or kiss them, you don't get the opportunity to do like a full hug because this is in the way, but they managed to make that happen in all the posts and the editing and all that sort of magic that they do. Valerie Parker, hello, Tommie, sending love from Dale and I. Hey, so Dale is my brother and Valerie is his wife. Hey guys, thank you guys so much. I love you. What is difficult working with all that technology for motion capture? Like I said, you just have to be aware of all that sort of stuff. And that was from Gordon William Mills on Facebook. Thank you, Gordon. Have you played Death Stranding yourself? What was your favorite part? Yes, I have played it, and I loved exploring the incredible landscapes of it. If you take the time to go through all of that, and being scared out of my mind of the BTs whenever they would come. And the boss fights were pretty cool. But that's from Joanna Marshall on Facebook. The next one, I am a big fan of your work. My question is, as an actor of many vocations, okay, what did you bring to performance capture from live action performance? And what did you take away from performance capture with you to live action performances? Oh, now that's something. It's a good question. All I can say is that I think that I brought with me theater training and my knowledge of the business, really, and everything that an actor needs to do the job. I mean, you can only bring what you can bring. Showing up, being prepared for what's to come, and the experience of having already worked on some big studios and small studio sets, being aware of the cameras. But what I took away with me, the performance capture, being much more aware of the use of my imagination. Because you really do need to have a strong imagination in some respects when you're working motion capture, because you don't have all the components that you would necessarily on a film or a TV set. But it does help internally to remember all those things, I suppose. For instance, you in a snow blizzard on the motion capture stage, you need to bring that to life. If you need to be shivering out in the, you're at death's door, you have to create those kinds of emotions in that room, on that sound stage without anything. but a lot of different things. The props, you don't have a desk and a chair necessarily, but you will have things that resemble those things. And also, you don't have the costumes, you just have the motion capture suit. So you don't feel like putting that on embodies the character. Often I do stuff, I put on a suit or put on fatigues or something if I'm filming whatever. And that helps you feel the character. It helps you feel, okay, I got this. I feel like it, but it's harder in motion capture. I think other actors might feel differently, who've been doing it longer or whatever, or but once again, every actor's process is different and everyone takes away something different from it. So that was from Chris Josty on Facebook. Thank you, Chris. Can you share an interesting behind the scenes moment that particularly stood out to you during the development of Death Stranding? Nothing particular, but getting dotted up is quite a process, and getting out of it is even more of a process, trying to get it off. But other than that, I spent most of the days asking questions, trying to understand what the hell was going on in the story. Basically, that was my mission. But has your own experience influenced your interpretation of the role of Die Hardman? If you mean my life experience, I don't think it influenced my interpretation, but I guess maybe I understood him in a way that I could relate to him. For instance, I consider myself to be a very organized person. My husband might say differently, but I consider myself to be a very organized person to some degree, or at least I try to be. And I imagine him to be, especially with his military background. He does everything by the book, but we're also very different. I can be emotional about things, and he's not. Unless, of course, he decides to stand in front of somebody and bare his soul, and then he runs off crying like a big girl, which he did. No, but honestly, I think it's like I said earlier as well. You bring a little bit of yourself to everything. You find those things. That's from Vladislav Dub. Vladislav _Oak on Instagram. Thank you for that. I really loved your performance in Death Stranding and Wednesday. Do you feel nervous when involved in such a big project? Do you deal with the nervous feeling so that you can give, or how do you deal with the nervous feeling so that you can give all your best in your work? I'm amazed by the crying scene in Death Stranding. Well, thank you. I think nerves are natural. First and foremost, nerves are natural. It's really about how you deal with them. That is the key. Ask yourself, why am I nervous? I know my lines. I know my blocking. I know the character. So just get on with it. But if you're afraid, if you think you're nervous and afraid because you're going to make a mistake, and that makes you nervous, then I don't think you have a full understanding of the assignment, because we're supposed to make mistakes. But, contrary to belief, you are there to make mistakes, to process and learn and ask questions. By all means, always ask a question. Asking questions don't make you stupid. Some people are afraid to. I used to be one of those kids when I was in school, and I was afraid to raise my hand because I didn't want to sound stupid or make a fool of myself. I got over that real quick because it was the only way for me to move forward. If you don't ask, you don't know, you don't get. So make sure that you do that. And like I said, we're supposed to make those mistakes. You can't possibly know everything until you turn up on a set about what's going on, because every set is going to be different. And every actor is going to be different that you're going to be working with as well. So you have all that to contend with. But it does matter. Like I said, in my early days, I have experienced that sort of stuff. But it doesn't matter how big or how small the project is. If you let yourself be daunted by the fact that I'm doing a Warner Brothers movie and there's millions of dollars on it, it's a big budget, I've got a big role, versus I'm doing an independent film that's a really low budget and a very small cast of people. One shouldn't outweigh the other. Really, realistically, right? You're still doing the same job as an actor. You're still putting in the 110%, no matter what job it is. So you got to kick the nerves to the curb. And if not, then you need to find a way to channel those nerves to make them work for you. Okay. But you don't cheat people. Don't cheat people in terms of, not giving your 100%. If you've been hired to do a job and you've taken on that job, they've hired you for a reason because they know you're good at what you do. So you want to go and bring your A game as best you can. You will find things that may challenge you along the way. But don't separate, Warner Brothers from, Little Joey Smith's independent production company. Give everything its full value. And that was from Ari Chin on Facebook. Thank you for that. One more here. What was your favorite line that you delivered? You know why they call me Die Hardman? Because he wouldn't let me die. He brought my sorry ass back home every time. And I loved him. That is for Vincent Valentine, Vincent McSiberus on Twitter X. Oh, wow. That took me back a little bit. Let's see where we are. How are you guys holding up out here? Self-sabotage is a thing. Yes, it is. The weight of discipline weighs ounces. The weight of regret weighs tones. Nice. Got online just in time to hear the line. Wonderful. You always give 110% in any role. That gave me goosebumps. I haven't said that line for years. What was it like working with Norman Reedus, Mads, and the rest of the fantastic cast? It was brilliant. Everyone was wonderful. Everyone came with their A game. Everyone had respect for each other on the set. We were all there to create this magical piece. We were all in the same boat, not understanding what the hell was going on, but we managed to find that. So yeah, it was wonderful. I wouldn't change a thing. How much do you think about your bodies posing when you act and gesture? I don't think about, unless my character has a specific impediment or flaw or something that is, written in for that character. I just try to be. And that in itself can be challenging, because if you're constantly worried about how you look or how you feel, then you're not in the moment of the scene. Do you see what I'm saying? So I can't be worried about, is my hair okay? I can't be worried about, is my posture, am I standing straight? Is my stomach hanging out? Those little things are big for some people, but I think you just kind of have to go, what happens, happens. People will buy what you put in front of them if you do it fully and commit and enter to it from a truthful place. That's it. Worry about none of that other stuff. Did Mr. Kojima ever talk about his days with the Metal Gear Solid? Not to me personally, no. Do you have any funny or interesting behind the scenes stories that you can share with us? That's Wednesday, Brazil. I'm presuming because you might be referring to Wednesday. I had a lot of fun on that set. Gwendolyn Christie is everything. As Larissa Weems. She and I got along like a house on fire, and I think she's absolutely amazing. I was always a fan of her from Game of Thrones, but to have the opportunity to work with her on quite closely, because the two of them have this sort of this connection. They're in cahoots, it seems. But we laughed a lot. I felt like we were naughty school kids sometimes, and I felt like we almost had to be separated because we were laughing so much. But I had a wonderful time with her, so that was great. Do you still meet with Mads and Norman? I don't meet with them, and I haven't been in contact with Mads necessarily, but Norman and I, we have a sort of chit chat every now and again. So yeah, if you could get any role, past, present, or future, which one would you love to reprise? Can be from any media. I'll have to think about that one. But I'm still on my Virgil Tibbs kick. So you guys push that out there. Push that out there. What happens, happens. Yes, Fletcher. Thank you. Let's draw some prizes. I've got my trusty little bag here. So let's go. Names are in. I'm going to draw. I've got about 14 little presents up here to give away. Did you ever receive an invitation from Italian cons? Would you come? I would come if they call me. Absolutely. What is the Kaufman game poster behind you? That is an independent feature film that my husband Jai did. He played the lead in, which was great. And also another friend of ours, Amy, who's in it. But yeah, it was brilliant. That's his poster. Right. Okay. So first up, let's go with how about this little trinket? We're going to go for this Bridges pin. And let's see what we got. I'm going in. I'm going to do about 7 of these and break this up a little bit. So first up, ooh, a Bridges pin. Who's got it? Who's got it? Here we go. If you are on here, Curtis95 on Twitter. I don't know if you're online, but you don't have to be. But it's going to Curtis95 on Twitter. Just so you can see. That's it, Curtis95. So I am going to set that aside. Oh man, I can't believe I am not in the bag. Oh, I'm going to set that aside for you, Curtis. Curtis. Anybody who knows Dreamgirls, that was a little funny thing. Anyway, so that's for Curtis. What do we got next? Let's go with, how about this Kojima tape? You know, if you've ever seen it on his on the production website, it's quite interesting. I have not used it, but you've got a black one, you've got a white one, and it's all Kojima Productions. It's just tape. It's tape, but it's fun. Ha ha ha. Kojima tapes. Here we go. This is going to Elias Bay on Twitter. Elias Bay. So I will reach out to you guys on Twitter to let you know if you're not in the chat or if you were here and had to leave early. So there you go. That's for you, Elias. I'm gonna tape your name to that. I'm gonna tape you to the tape. Right. Next up, let's how about one of these duckies? A Luden's duck. We're going with the yellow one. The yellow Luden's duck. How's that? Yep. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Ducks. Yay. Here we go. Here we go. I thought about the tape that I am winning it. Elias, I thought about the tape and now I'm winning. Hey, you're there. Elias, you got it. Nice one, bud. This is for the duck, the yellow Luden's duck. This is for Jake Hobbs, 35 miles of lead on Twitter. 35 miles of lead. You're welcome, Elias. You're welcome. Where did you buy that Die Hardman mask? That was a gift. That was a gift. So let me put this on here for God, we're going to be here like for 5 hours today. That is for you. Messed up on that tape. I should have used the Die Hard Kojima's tape for that. Okay, we're good. We're good. Let me set that aside for you. What's next? Should we go for Duck 2? Actually, let's go for one of these bad boys. We're going to go. Also going to give one of those out. That is a signed autograph of Die Hard Man. That's a lot of lead. It really is 35 miles of lead, believe me. This is for El Mazy Rodrigo _Gilmore on Twitter. If you are out there, that is you. You get a signed photograph. Let me go with this tape. Let's put you out there. We'll put it on the back so we don't wreck nothing. Okay. There we go. How many is that we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 3 more of this. Let's go for another photo. Another photo. Here we are. I missed the post of the contest because it's me, Rodrigo. Rodrigo, happy to accept any unclaimed prizes. Just hear me out. This is another signed picture going to Simulated Snake. Simulated Snake on Twitter. Simulated Snake. All right. All right. All right. Simulated Snake. There it is. Okay. Two more. Let's go with let's just get rid of these I'll save some of those other prizes for a little bit later. Another signed photograph going to congrats, Simula Snake. I know that guy. They're guessing that this was a Twitter. Okay, this one is another signed photograph going to Matt Luniski on Facebook. Matt, if you are watching, it's coming your way, bud. So the thing is, I'll reach out to you guys after the fact over the next days or so and figure out how to get these to you. If you live on Mars, you got to pay your own postage. Just saying. Two more. Another one. Here we go. Let's see. I stand corrected. Well done to all the prize winners. It's kind of exciting to see how it goes. Here we go. This one is going to Sam Dangerfield, also on Facebook. Sam Dangerfield, you've got a Die Hardman. You get a Die Hardman. You get a Die Hardman. You get a Die Hardman. There we go. Let's put you there. And last but not least on these, one more. Let's do that. Let's do this. Paying postage is fair. Price is great. No coverage from Mars. Cheaper than postage to Europe, most likely. Probably. This is for Philippe Viotti, also on Facebook. Philippe, you got a picture, mate. You get a picture. You get a picture. Okay. Right. That's that. Done. We'll come back to do. We've got 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 more of those bad boys coming. Yes. Okay. So moving on here. So there you have it. You're all winners, baby. Listen, let's get back to these questions and power through. We're almost getting through these. As a huge fan of your performance in Death Stranding and your work since, it seems you really connected with the character of Die Hartman. What initially drew you to the role? The audition, basically. True story. No word of a lie. Later, when I found out I was going to be doing the Kojima game and discovering all about him, I pretty much had to. Once I realized what it was and all that, I was like, yep, I'm in. Count me in. Do you gain question there? Do you gain a British accent while in the UK? I don't gain one, but I have been taking classes, and I do sometimes have to use slight British isms when I do some work. So yeah, I have to work. I've got a great teacher that I work with online. If you're watching, Papa Teach Me is his website. Alistair, Ali, shouting out to Ali, my Brit dude. He's awesome. Did you know about Kojima before Death Stranding? I knew the name. I didn't know a lot about him because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't focused in the whole game thing. So not to that extent. And that was from Lewis O'Brien on 117 on Instagram. Thank you for that. Next up, what is the memorable day that you had working on the set of Death Stranding? The first day, probably, when I met Kojima face to face for the first time. So that was pretty memorable. That's from Zachariah Badami. That's ZCKATK on Instagram. Thank you. How was it working with the voice acting royalty, Troy Baker? And if or how he helped you out in bringing your role alive and making Die Hartman your own character. Firstly, I love Troy. Troy's a legend. He's so cool. Our paths crossed at the studio a few times, but we didn't actually have any scenes together, if I remember correctly. I don't think we had any scenes. But I suppose knowing who and what his character was helped me understand how Die Hardman felt about Higgs whenever I spoke about him. So in that sense, I think there was a chance of having that knowledge about him that did probably have some input. But yeah, I was kind of on my own. That was from Matthew Lunitsky on Facebook, who also won a picture just now. Here is how was Kojima, or how has Kojima come to you and presented this project? He didn't come to me. I'm sure he knew nothing about me at all. I auditioned for the role through my agent and the casting director for it, and very little information was given to me. And I didn't know him beforehand, but working with him was awesome. So that's from Maze Rodrigo _Gilmore on Twitter. What was your reaction when you learned you'd need to deliver your performance with a mask on? I didn't have to do that. Did you do motion capture with the mask on or leave it off to capture your eyes? The mask was left off. The only time I did have a replica sort of mask, and it wasn't really anything like what you have here, but to use as a prop. And I used it when I think I removed the mask during the presidential speech. So that's from Eat Some Seaweed. Eat Some Seaweed on Twitter X. What a handle, man. Go and eat some seaweed. What is your favorite thing about the character Die Hardman, and what is your least favorite thing about him? My favorite is I like his stoicness, his ability to keep his emotions out of the equation, his absolute intolerance of bullshit. My least favorite is nothing. I love him. I think I love the character, and that's what he is. He's a character, so I can't hate him or dislike him for anything. But that's from Cole Butterfinger McBride at Call Me Cole on Instagram. Thank you for that. We talked about how much your life has changed thanks to Death Stranding. So what about opportunities in the game industry since then? It's hard to say how much it has helped, but I imagine it has helped me in some way when people are looking me up, maybe possibly for a potential job. But I still feel like I'm getting noticed for other work, which is wonderful. But it is an industry where it takes time for people to know you, and just because you do one big game doesn't automatically catapult you into the stratosphere for stardom. This is now iced coffee, by the way, but it's still good. You still have to work. You still have to work. You still have to work to get your name out there. You still have to represent yourself. You still have to have people who believe in you, who push you forward. And fortunately, I have had a lot of people on my side who believe in me and still believe in me, even if I don't book a gig. And sometimes that's everything to an actor or a voice actor. But believe it or not, there are still people out there who've never even played the game, and those still have no idea who I am. But I'm in it for the long haul, So there's time. I'm still a work in progress. Which other characters that you played that you like most? I liked playing Gulu in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. If you guys have seen that was so much fun. He was funny. He was all we did was roast people. And I think so. Gulu and Guido are partners. They've have this relationship. But if you don't know the game, Google them and you can see the difference. One's human, one's an alien, but like major alien. I don't even know how that happens. But all we do is roast people and just laugh. It was really funny to do that. That's from Blader Coyote, Blader Coyote on Instagram. I did an interview with you once, which I loved. Thank you for that. How was it working with everyone, including Hideo Kojima and Norman Reedus? Do you still keep in contact with them? It was great with everyone, and yes, we are in contact. That's for Derek Rochelle Squeeds with a Z on Instagram. What are some dream roles that you'd wish to play or directors you'd hope to work with? Once again, I mentioned earlier, call me Mr. Tibbs. I'm still on that, y'all. And maybe work with Christopher Nolan. Have you guys seen Oppenheimer? I thought it was amazing. It was long, but it was amazing. But also, I'm open for anything. I'm just a job and actor looking for a gig. That was from Marcox 199 Marcox 199 on Twitter. Um, I'll do one more and then I'll come to you guys on the screen. Are you in Death Stranding 2? If so, how much of the role did you play? Hoping it will be I'm just hoping it will be as significant as the first time. I think we cleared this one up earlier with that. So we thank you, Nathan Narcolep at Narcolep on Twitter X. Thank you for that. So what do you guys got here? Oh my God, that was you. Yes, if you're referring to Guido, yes. Sorry, Gulu. I played it very recently. I thought that was cute. Yeah, I loved it. Oppenheimer was incredible. Yes, powerful movie. Did Adele speak to you in English? Did you see concept art of Die Hartman prior to the role? Uh, he didn't speak to me. He does speak very little English, from what I gather. But he has an amazing translator who works with him, Aki, and who literally. But I always focus on Hideo because he's talking, and you hear the translator. And it's easy for me to just because you can read so much in his face and his expression. So I feel like I'm talking to him, which is wonderful. And I didn't see any concept art prior to the role. Blader, you're late. I think you won something, mate. But yes, I think you won a photo. I think so. Do I remember that correctly? I'll have to go back and look. But yes, thank you for getting here. And also, I just read one of your questions. So welcome. Are you going to be season 2 of Wednesday? Laroxia. Now you watched the show, right? You saw what happened to it. You saw what happened to Mayor Walker. I don't think there's going to be, but you never know. But at this moment in time, I think we can safely say that Mayor Walker is 6 feet under at the moment. Aki Sato, yes. Need to know is where we at. Did you read any Les Brown for motivation when you were younger? I didn't, but I will certainly look out for it. I will certainly look out for it. Let's go and pull some of these prizes again. Actually, you know what? Let me check my Twitter and see what happened there. Should we go back and do that? Let's see what's happened. Now, I've got to be strict. So you guys have got to have had the right emojis here, okay? Oh, there's like 20 plus. Let's see what we got. The latest. Let's see. My Twitter feed is loaded with emojis. So yes. I'm gonna have to go through that because I don't want to waste any time on here. But thank you guys for all submitting, and I will come up with the actual first. Let me see if I can find if there was the first one. Thank you. Let's see. Bear with me. Hey. So I think 41. So I think, Lisa, I think you may have been the first, if you're watching, Lisa_West_picks at 42 minutes ago. I think you may have gotten the first through. Baby Box Rainbow, thumbs up skull for me. Yeah. So I will go through all this and narrow it down because I don't want to waste any time. But let's look at that. I think there's about 20 of you who managed to get them in. So I will let you all know. I will do a tweet out about that because I'm going to need time to look at all that. Uh, but I'm sorry that it stressed you out. But what will happen is the first 5 on the quick 5 will all get a signed photo. All right, I will send those out to you, but I'll liaise with you through my direct message, and we will we'll make that happen. Right. Let's draw. Let's draw. Let's go for it. Let's go for the t-shirt. This is the Death Stranding t-shirt. So let's see what we got. Okay, so this is going to Nathan. Nathan at Narcolep on Twitter X, if you are out there. It is large, I said. So if it's too big for you, you can re-gift it, or you can wear it as a nightshirt, if people still do that. I do. So let me put that there for you. So that's Nathan. Congratulations, buddy. Let's see. Yes, that was probably the first one. Brazil. It was fun. Congratulations. Biting nails. All right. Lisa does the best Death Stranding art on X. Yes, she does. Really good. Really good. This is going to be for another duck. The white one. Luden's duck. Luden's duck. Okay. This is going to Kazuma Kiryu for the chairman on Instagram. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to put that out to you. Let's tape you up there. If you're out there, that is for you. And where are we at now? So we have got 4 left. I have this first Death Stranding CD, which I have signed on the cover, but you'll lose that little signature once you open the CD, which is fine. It's at least you know it was here. This one is going to be songs from the video game. Marco, could I please get my t-shirt signed? I will sign it for you. Is that yours? Is that Marco? Are you Nathan Narcolep on Twitter X? If it is, I will sign it. I will sign it. So I'm going to give this away. This is songs from the video game. So it has all of Low Roar, Churches. It's amazing. The Apocalyptica. Great. I don't know if you can see that properly, but yeah, there you go. And you can see where I've signed it, Die Hardman. So let's see who's getting that. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, I am Nathan Narcolep. Got you, Marco. We got you, buddy. We got you. All right. First CD out is going to Gary Darling at Gary Darling 108 on Twitter. How's that? There we are. Gary Darling. You got a CD? You know, look, and if you need to, you don't know who people still have CD players, but the point is you can put this all on your phone, on your music, your playlist. It's beautiful. The music is beautiful. And let's go with CD number 2. This one is The Score by Ludwig. It is absolutely stunning. As you can see, I've signed this one again. But it's also, and these are double CD sets. Double CD sets. Here we go. Who's getting this? Wayne Manier on Facebook. Got a CD. Got a CD, man. Got a CD. You got it. Okay. Congratulations, buddy. Wayne, do the Wayne. I have, so these are the 5 photos that are heading out to all my quick 5 winners that I'll get out to you guys. And I have the last 2 prizes left here. I have the PS5 director's cut. It's the Joker. Ooh, thanks, Tommy. I'll message you on Facebook. Perfect. And then I have a PC digital download. Day 1 limited run. So if anyone's on, if you get this and you don't have a PC, you might, maybe you can regift it to someone. But hopefully, hello from Italy. I played DS1 200 hours. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go for the digital download first. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Right. This is going to Darkus Aureus on Facebook. You've got that. There you go. Congratulations, buddy. You get the PC download. I'll reach out and we'll kind of get that out to you. All right. Last and final, I believe, for this draw is the Director's Cut PS5. PS5. I played DS for 500 hours and every second was worth it, especially the story. Nice one. We are all from Italy. Yo, ciao, 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 ciao. Come stai? Tutto bene? Oggi un po' difficile per me. I was going to try and remember all my Italian, and I'm lost for words at the moment. Grazie, amore. Here we go. PS5 Director's Cut giveaway. This is it. This is it. This is it. I'm digging, and let's see. This is going to Alfredo at SauceManFredo on Twitter X. That's you, bud. There you go. There it is. There it is. Greetings from Spain, Master. Hope to see you in next projects. You deserve all the good things. Fantastic work as Harmon. Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, can you sign it, please? I will sign it. I will sign everything. I will do my best. I'll reach out to you guys and ask for any specifics that you guys want. But congratulations to everybody who submitted. That was a lot of fun. And I will get to all you quick 5 winners later today once I've gone through and see who was quick on the draw. And let's get to these last final questions. I'm coming in for the home stretch here. You guys have been amazing, and thank you for sticking with me. I hope you've kind of been enjoying the day. I know that I have. I really have. Thank you. So I really appreciate it. So we've got, would you like to work with Mr. Kojima again? Yes. Facts. That's from Elias Bay on Twitter. What was this your first experience doing something involving the tech used, and how much fun was the day-to-day? Yes, it was. It was my first motion capture gig, and every day was so much fun and hard work, but hard work in a good way. And that's from Curtis95 at Curtis95 on Twitter. I think you guys have all kind of won some prizes today. What was your favorite thing about the story of Death Stranding? Connecting people together, realizing how important it is for us as humans pretty much to not lose sight of that, because I think these last few years we've, our country certainly has become very divided. The world in some sense has become very divided, but I think there's a very important message with regards to connecting with people. Lovely water. And that was from Axel at Cairo Tar on Instagram. Thank you for that. Not lose sight of connection. Hello from Japan. Please tell us what was the most fun moment while playing Die Hardman, and what was the most difficult? The most fun was working with such an incredible cast every day. That was fun. Mads and I spent a few days together doing our scenes. He's awesome. And it was fun running around with fake guns and, trying to get out of where we were. And that's from Daruri, Daryl_cosplay at _JP on Instagram. Thank you for that. Which character or characters of any media would you like to perform? All the ones that fit my profile. Just throw them all my way and let me work on them. That's from Alex, Alex S2299 on Twitter. X. Thank you. Did you work? I'll come to you guys in a second. I'd like to know your regime for staying in such great shape because I've seen your wiki and I know how old you are, and you definitely do not look your age. I was going to give you a side smile and a side eye on that one. I thank you. I think uh, I do intermittent fasting, and I go to the gym because I like to eat. That's a fact. My husband will let you know I will eat everything that you put in front of me if it's there. I like to eat, so I had to find something to do that I could still eat and still maintain some kind of control over myself. I used to find it difficult. It's not so difficult anymore. And I've gotten so used to it now. I set a goal weight. I'm at that goal weight, but now I can have days where I just kind of go, I'm not fasting tonight. I'm going to have some chips and watch Netflix and not feel 1 ounce of guilt about it. Because I know I can go to the gym and fast the next couple of days and I'm back to where I need to be. So that's what I do. Thank you for Torgo Jones on Twitter. Do you still dance Broadway dancing? And could you tell us some stories when you were on stage? If by Broadway dancing you mean like musical theater, I haven't done a show since a stage show, I think since 2015. And I was doing Jersey Boys in Vegas. I've done like 4 companies. I did London, did New York for a bit. A short stint, and then I did Vegas, and then I went back to London. So I've kind of done 4 companies of that, but I haven't really done stage show since 2015 in Vegas doing Jersey Boys. I do still do a little bit of movement. You've probably seen my TikToks. I have forgotten lines on stage, and those were some frightening moments because you just feel so alone. I have had some real corkers with forgetting stuff on stage, where everyone else is laughing their heads off at my misfortune. Yeah, there are some wonderful stories I could probably relay here, but I won't necessarily go into them because they're quite lengthy. But yeah, so yes, I have had some crazy moments. That's from Philippe Viotti on Facebook. How did you get involved with Death Stranding? Were you contacted by Kojima, and did you have to audition, or were you chosen for the role beforehand? I auditioned, like I said before. My agent sent me the information. I put myself down on tape, and the rest is history. Thank you, Daniel V. Rodriguez, Elgoff on Facebook. A big fan of yours. How much of the persona of Die Harmon actually stayed with Tommie? I mean, the character is so deep and complicated to analyze. Did it impact you as a person outside the game? None of them stayed with me. I like to leave my work behind unless I have to go home and do what I call homework. But I put him in a little box. I leave him in my dressing room, and I come and pick him up when I come back to work, and take it from there. So no, I didn't let anything, and I don't think it was that much of an impact on my life that I was concerned how it would impact me outside of the work that I was doing. So that was from Zaghuwani on Facebook. Wael, Wow, Val, Whale, Wheel. When talking to Mr. Kojima, which philosophical aspect of the game did you like most? I like the fact that it doesn't shy away from strong topics, honestly, and instead it asks the questions about how we deal with the complexities of humanity. It looks at life, how it looks at death, things that we don't often discuss openly, and it didn't shy away from any of a lot of those issues. We face it head on. That's from Laura Camargo on Facebook. Thank you for that. How was your understanding of Hideo Kojima's storytelling? Or how has your understanding of Hideo Kojima's storytelling changed you as you've been a part of the Kojima verse? Do you feel you understand his work? Honestly, I'm still confused. No, I feel I have a much better grip on his storytelling now than I did when I first started. I've read reviews of his, articles of his past works, his passion that he has for the work and stuff that he does. But I think everyone was in the same boat when it came to that, because I think that you kind of have to fully understand how his mind works uh, or in order to truly be able to immerse yourself, if in a way to in the process and the information in a way that lets you understand what makes him tick. I think it's absolutely fascinating. But yeah, you just have to, you get on board, you understand the process, and you kind of go, oh, I can see, I will never fully be able to understand it because I'm not in his head. But I have a way of decoding some of it in a way that works for me. That was from Largo, Social Largo on Twitter X. The last question, honestly, here is written in is, throughout your entire career, who has been the most fun to work with? Uh, that's a lot of years for me to go back through to think about. But I'm going to go with, in recent times, I had to say my colleagues on Wednesday, I had a really, really great time. There was a lot of fun, and we laughed a lot. But when I was doing Jersey Boys back in London, I never laughed so much as I have doing 8 shows a week with those guys. Even from the moment that I would walk into the stage door to the moment that I left after the show, we were always laughing, and I will forever, ever love those guys. It was great, but there's just too many years for me to go back to try and figure out all of that. But appreciative. What have you guys got here? My wife stayed up and watched you on YouTube with me this evening. It's 10 p.m. in UK. Jilly said you're a charming gentleman, and I agree. Thanks for answering our questions. Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining. Hello from Ontario. Hi. Tommie, what is your favorite acting role? I think we covered some of those things. Have you ever done voice acting for motion comics? No. You have an amazing voice for it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I hope there's more years of your performance to see. So do I, quite frankly. I'm not ready to kick the bucket just yet. I hope there's more. Hey, TJ, Gary Darling. Hey. What's up, Tommie? Hope you're having a good stream. I am. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for this. It's been good to know more about you. Your company in these live streams is always a joy and never fails to put me in a good mood. I really, really appreciate that. Now listen, because we're coming to the end here before we close out. Does anyone else have anything they want to add? I think you guys have been adding a lot. I'm gonna have to go back through all these chats and have a look at stuff. But thank you guys so much, so much. This is literally 2 hours that we've been going, and we're about to finish. So thank you for sticking around. Those of you who did, and those who had to go, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Happy that I got home in time to catch some of the stream. Thanks for having us. Thank you. Did you read the Death Stranding novels? I'm in the last 50 pages of the book. I've got them sitting right here. I was actually going to use them at one point as my joy to the word and do those, but I think there's a copyright thing that I ran up against with that. What's my biggest hobby? I don't really have any big hobbies. I love to just sit and chill. I write. I go to the gym. I love going for walks. I walk around the Hollywood Reservoir here, and it's beautiful, especially on a gorgeous day. It's absolutely stunning. It's like a 3.5-mile walk on flat surface, but you got the reservoir right in the center, so you always pretty much have a view of that. How has 2 hours gone that quick? Talent Gaming. I know, right? What's your favorite voice acting role, Uncle Tommie? Oh, Laroxia. Die Hardman was one of my favorites. I've got to say, he's got to be up there. Been amazing to tune in and be with you and everyone else. Thank you, guys. Billy Joel turns the lights back on. Do you like? I like. Death Stranding 2. If you weren't here earlier, you've missed all of that. Thank you for the live session. It was great. I hope to do more of these in the future. Listen, before I go, I said that I have a closing poem as well, and this is it. It is called Invictus by William Ernest Henley, and you may know this or you may have heard of it. But Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And that is Invictus. And that is what I have left for you guys today. Thank you so much. I have had so much fun with you all today. And thank you again for spending the time. I will leave you with this final thought, and that is to be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. It doesn't cost anything. Don't let people bring you down. Don't let people tell you that you can't do something. And remember, your journey is your own and no one else's. We all achieve things at different times in our lives. And the worst thing that you can possibly do is compare your journey to others. So do you, boo. Okay? And go get those blessings. Follow your dreams, people. That's it. That's it. I'm out. Keep on keeping on. I love ya.